So many of you, I'm sure, know John Waters. For decades, he has lovingly made films that make us cringe or raise an eyebrow or two or kind of throw up a little bit in our mouths. From sketchy bestiality scenes to characters who love to kill, he's notoriously sculpted a world where disgust is something to smile about, and the underdog always wins, something that we always appreciate. You can clap about that if you want. So, I'll just go on to say in John's world that the chubby girl snatches the studly male dancer from snobbish blonde bitch in Hairspray, or a schoolgirl will show the world what happens when you don't get cha-cha heels in Female Trouble. Woo! And there's nothing wrong with selling heroin in schools or selling babies to gay couples, as happened in one of his earlier films, Pink Flamingos. It's my great pleasure to introduce the provocateur and iconoclast filmmaker, Mr. John Waters. So we're going to do a brief interview back and forth, and then show one of your films, of which actually I don't know if John Ebert actually appreciated it, but he did in a review of this film call you an anarchist in the age of the cautious, an independent in an age of studio creatures, and a man whose films are homemade and contain no chemicals or preservatives. Is that how you see yourself?
I just see myself, a lot of people said, is this movie autobiographical? They all are in some way, but I certainly hope I treat my cast better than Cecil did. And Cecil has absolutely no sense of humor about what he did, as most terrorists aren't laugh riots. So imagine making this movie if 9/11 had happened. Luckily I had made the movie before that happened, or it would have been never released. But film terrorism does still happen. It would be exciting if your audience attacked Raiders of the Lost Ark letting out tonight. It would perk up, and when I was young, it was kind of like that. There was riots about film, and it's hard to imagine that today. If a film was banned, people would attack the censors and that kind of thing. And it's hard to imagine that happening today, but it would be fun. So I was kind of imagining what it would be like if cities were cinematically tense.
And did you get the title for Cecil B. Demented from? I read somewhere else that someone actually called you Cecil B. Demented in an earlier review of your film.
Think it was.
Do you tuck that away and sort of keep that?
No, it's true. It was, I believe, the Gay Advocate paper, and it wasn't. No one called me that. It was the title, and as many people don't realize, the journalists usually don't write their own headlines. So it was a headline, so I never knew who actually wrote it, but I immediately stole it.
And speaking of Demented, is there any good stories you can tell us from the making of the film? I know much of the cast was quite young and not so well known, and Maggie Gyllenhaal is a huge star now, and maybe you can't tell a story about her now.
No, we had other, like Michael Shannon, who went on to do a lot of stuff. We had Adrian Grenier, who's on Entourage. We had Larry Gilliard on The Wire. We had a lot of kids that went on to do great stuff. And but we all got along. I just remember being in that horrible cold theater, and being in that drive-in for a week on night shoots at night with poor Melanie. And at the time, Melanie was also Melanie Griffith was the ad for, I forget, some fancy cosmetic, the Revlon woman or something. And so she would have to leave in the middle of Cecil B. Demented and go do Revlon ads, and then come back, and we would wreck her and turn her into what was glamour in our world, which was the exact opposite. So it was a little schizophrenic for her. But she was great, and she was great to work with, and a real trooper, and it's hard to play a bad actress. I think Melanie is a good actress, and I love her in this film. And Antonio came on the set. He was always very, very supportive of her making the movie, certainly because he started with Pedro Almodovar, so I think he sort of came from people that made movies with the same people over and over, and he was lovely. And he would be great. He'd come in Baltimore on the locations, go and meet all the people in the neighborhoods. He was very much not hiding, and gave her great confidence in me. But any dirt, let me think. It's hard to remember, you know, when you make these movies, they bleed together. And
or is there anyone that inspired you, sort of the Melanie Griffith's characters, or for that character that?
No, it was just like what it would be like if they always want you now in any movie you make, no matter if it costs $500,000, they want you to have 3 Hollywood stars in it. And if you get 3, they want 4. So I'm trying to figure the only way you can do it if you're young is to kidnap one, really, because they're not going to do it. And it did happen in Mexico, where they did kidnap a big star and make her do a movie. So it does happen. And then I read recently, I feel really bad that, you know, in Pecker I had teabagging, where you hit somebody in the forehead with your balls. Well, someone recently sent me this story that happened where it was a hazing, where this kid arrested him, and he said that they was inspired by this, and he was sobbing on the stand about how all the frat guys put their balls in his forehead. I felt terrible, but this was a serious article. He was traumatized by it, and he was teabagged, and this is a crime, actually.
So I wonder what they're doing now after seeing A Dirty Shame.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there are, you know,
there's a lot of cases that could come from that.
There's news. Have you ever heard of anything sexual? So, the worst thing you can imagine, someone has tried it. I mean, when we were making that movie, I didn't know about Roman showers. And since I have, that's when you puke on other people for sex. I've never done that, but you say things for you, all of them, for years.
Is that made up, or is that?
No. Well, I read recently about someone that did it. You know, there's an underground, like that great movie that came from here, Zoo. I didn't know that was a term. Where you say, oh, are you Zoo? Yeah, I'm Zoo. Yeah. It was a great movie.
I'll go to another quote that I found in your book, Shock Value. Said, to understand bad taste, one must have very good taste.
That's true. You have to learn the rules to break them. And, you know, I thank my mother a lot for teaching me which spoon to eat, for all that stuff. Yeah, because you can't have bad taste unless you know good taste, I think. The same way, if you break any rules, you have to know the rules in order to make fun of them. So, yeah, I think that's true. I think to have good bad taste, and bad taste is so easy. It's not funny, it's not witty, or it's just common, really. You know?
Like, as in, well, you know, other movies, or they have bad taste.
Well, no, I'm not, like what? I mean, you know, I wish my, like the big...
Romantic comedies?
Oh, romantic comedies. Well, I like to, you know, I love this movie, Love Songs is my favorite movie, so I love that movie. And then I liked, what else did I like recently? American Tragedy, that movie about Gertie, that killer, I like that. I like all Guy Madden's movies really a lot. I'm a big fan of his. And there's a movie you have in the festival called Before I Forget. That's my favorite movie that's coming up. Is that played already?
Yeah, it was playing last week in Jack.
Oh, it's so good. Come see it. He made the film also Porn Theater that was known in Paris as The Pussy with Two Heads. And I had a television show.
They didn't actually translate it literally for American audiences. They had to change it.
Yeah, and I had a TV show for a while on Here Network called I'll Present Movies That Will Corrupt You, and that was one of mine. I actually got it on TV deal, if you can imagine. And I even showed Irreversible on television, that great movie.
But you actually don't watch TV, do you? At least
no, I don't. Well,
so no American Idol or anything?
No, I didn't see that. No, I saw recently the one because Marissa that won the Tony Award on Hairspray was on the dancing one. Yeah, I saw that. But I don't watch TV. I watch it, you know, for porn. And if we're at war, I turn it on. You know? And I almost turned it on today because did Hillary quit today? I think maybe she did. So I was going to at least see that. I've seen newsroom. So it's good for war and porn and